Volgograd, Russia, June 22. Ahmed Musa of Nigeria celebrates with Nigeria staff following their side's victory in the 2018 FIFA World Cup Russia Group D match between Nigeria and Iceland at Volgograd Arena on June 22, 2018 in Volgograd, Russia. Photo by Catherine Ivill, Getty Images. Both sides contrasted from what we saw in their opening games. While the Super Eagles soared for the first time in this tournament, even the renowned thunderclap wasn't enough to ignite the die-hard Iceland performance we are used to. There is plenty we can take from a game that could prove defining, and here are what I feel to be the three most important conclusions from the clash in Volgograd. Point 1. Nigeria finally justified their pre-tournament hype. Many were left scratching their heads when Nigeria, tipped to be an African dark horse, opened with one of their worst World Cup displays in recent history. Sluggish, pedestrian and bereft of ideas against Croatia, the future looked bleak for Gernot Rohr's side, who showed no inspiration at the beginning of their campaign. The outlook has a far more optimistic shimmer about it now, though. Spearheaded by the dynamic Ahmed Musa, we were given more than a glimpse of why Nigeria were considered a real force to contend with prior to the competition. Their beautiful kit amalgamated with buoyant supporters and a scorching performance to extinguish Iceland's fearsome approach. A fine display earned Nigeria 3 points that could yet go a long way. Despite the first half leaving much to desire, and suggesting it was set to be another disappointing afternoon for the Africans, the Super Eagles took flight after the interval. Demonstrating purpose, endeavor and an attacking edge we had yet to see from their camp, Nigeria eventually indicated why their fans had such high levels of anticipation. It was refreshing to watch them greatly improve from that dreadful evening in Kaliningrad. The result boosts their confidence, as well as injecting life into their surge for the knockouts. A positive result against Argentina, a far more realistic prospect now we have seen La Albiceleste flattered to deceive on 2 occasions, is what is required for Nigeria to continue their journey. And if they play like they did against Iceland, they have a real chance of completely neutralizing their early tournament despondency and causing a storm in the round of 16 and beyond. Page 2. Photo by Lawrence Griffiths, Getty Images. Versus Argentina, Iceland looked every bit as determined and lion-hearted as in their romantic adventure of 2016. On this occasion, however, Nigeria managed to quell their ferocity and breach what looked an impenetrable backline. Iceland made sensational blocks, put their bodies on the line and had everyone behind them to clinch a history-making draw against Argentina. That motivation was sucked out of them here. Nigeria were patient, meticulous and one sublime move killed Iceland for good. Ahmed Musa's brace was the difference, and the Nordic nations' futile attempts to get back into the game were highlighted when Jiffy Sigurdsson blazed a spot kick over the bar. With their side containing a salt packager and a film director, and their manager a dentist, the many heartwarming subplots of Iceland are what makes them so special. Nigeria made it all about themselves on Friday. The Icelanders couldn't find the fight and spirit so emblematic of their style, and they were punished for it. Tenacity has been Iceland's theme since Euro 2016. Reaching the quarter-finals 2 years ago was only the beginning, and when they churned through an arduous World Cup qualifying group it left many pondering over whether they could have the underdog label detached. This defeat, the worst exhibition in their short but impressive history, showed frailties and leaves them the least likely to qualify from what has long been underlined as the group of death. Iceland now have to beat Croatia, who are fresh from dismantling Argentina in brutal fashion, and hope that Nigeria don't manage to pick up a result in their final game against La Albiceleste. Anything similar to this display, and they can kiss their hopes of another improbable major tournament run goodbye. Page 3. Use your arrows to browse. Photo by Kevin C. Cox, Getty Images. Nigeria had long been frustrated out of their opener when Musa came on, and he had little time to make a real impact. He earned a place in the starting 11 here, and it was a risk that paid off handsomely for manager Gernot Rohr. Although early in the match Musa struggled to influence proceedings, often conceding poor fouls, he came into his own after the break. Only ever showing glimmers of his best in Leicester colours, Musa hasn't been revealed as a genuine talent to the world. This display will certainly turn heads. His silky touch and clinical finishing were showcased for the first goal, while another, perhaps his most impressive, trait came to the surface for his second. Electric pace was key in order to round Hannes Haldorsen and fire into the empty net. Kelechi Iheanacho, Odion Ialo and John Obi Mikel, all of whom have plied their trade in the Premier League at some point, have all found it difficult to penetrate defences. Mikel is aging, Iheanacho is maturing, and Ialo's domestic experiences in China are admittedly less useful in the World Cup. Musa, however, is fresh from playing in Russia with CSKA Moscow, and is keen to prove himself to bigger clubs to try and rekindle his career. He is doing an excellent job of that. He is the only man to look dangerous for the Nigerians in either game, and the deserved scorer of their only 2 goals in the competition so far. It is a given he will start against Argentina, and his talent can be unleashed once more. An already leaky defense won't appreciate locking horns with the effervescent Musa. Use your arrows to browse.